Oh, cool. I think we're live. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Daniel, and welcome to the live show. Live show will actually start in about 10 minutes. Bob will be joining me, but I thought I'd hop on here a little bit early if I can get the feed to work properly. Maybe answer some questions you guys may have. See if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them down if I can get this working right. All hail Daniel. Nice. That's kind of intense, but thank you. Hope everybody is doing well today. We got some cool new products to share with you guys. Oh, actually, there's something that I gotta go grab. I'll probably have to wait till Bob gets here. But I had a chance to use a 45-degree angle pouch at SC Village this weekend, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I thought they were kind of silly at first until I started using it, and then it worked really, really well for me. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. Let's see if I can get this working. Got too many guns everywhere. It's just guns everywhere. It's ridiculous. I don't know why, but the questions are not coming through. That's not open. Okay, there we go. Now okay, cool. Now I got the chat going. All right, so let's see. I got a question from Airsoft Rush. Hi, Daniel. Are you pumped up for the GI Tactical sale? Yes. Sadly, I'm not going to be there, but I am actually really excited for the sale. If you guys are not aware, last year, 1 year ago, I was the store manager here at the California store, and so I was actually sent to Virginia, which I've never been to before, and I was there for whole month and a half, and literally when I got there, that building was completely empty. No staff, no inventory, no displays, no shelves, nothing. And I was there for a month and a half of my life, and it was a crazy experience because by the time I was left, we hired the staff, we got all the inventory in, we got all the displays and the shelvings, and we turned it into a store. So for me, it is a great sense of personal pride that that store is doing well. A lot has happened since that 1 year. The employees there are great, and the management there is great, and it's been amazing. So I'm really excited for this 1 year anniversary personally, even beyond the fact of the company, just because it's a great sense of pride for me. So yes, I'm very pumped for it. I'm kind of bummed I'm not actually going to be there. Bob is leaving California on Thursday to see you guys out on the East Coast, so that's going to be really cool. So yeah, this should be pretty cool. I got a question from the Lefty. What is a good expensive plate carrier in OD? There's some new plate carriers by Condor coming out called the Sentries that are very low profile, but still a plate carrier nonetheless. You have just kind of the front plate, but there's no cummerbund. I think they're like $45 or so. So that one is coming pretty soon. That one comes in OD or tan. The ones that I've been a fan of lately is like the Lancer JPCs. That is a little bit more expensive, but those are generally good plate carriers. Condor is pretty good when it comes to tactical gear not being super expensive but very good quality. Condor does a lot of work with military and law enforcement. They actually do only a very small percentage of all their business in the airsoft industry. Most of it goes to actual real steel shooters and stuff like that. So for the price, you can't go wrong. I have a lot of Condor gear myself, and it works really, really well. Okay, this is a kind of an interesting question. Airsoft Marine Squad is saying, hi, why don't you do more events on the East Coast? I'm a little confused by that because we are doing a bunch of events on the East Coast. We actually have two coming up very soon on the East Coast. The first one is Operation Reclamation 3, which we'll go into more detail in a little bit. That's happening May 18th at X Zone in Virginia. And we also have a CQB tournament coming up at TRU, TRU, which is Tactical Response Unleashed, happening on May 4th. So we do events on the East Coast that I'm actually going out to the Operation Reclamation 3s. America's going to win this time. It's going to be awesome. Ed, if you're watching, you're going down, sir. But that's happening. I got another question saying, does Airsoft GI have any plans to start shipping to the UK? International shipping is something that we are working on. It's a work in progress. Once we get more details and lock that stuff down, we'll definitely try to get everything out to everybody worldwide. It is something we are aware of. Let's see. Miner 4 PvP is asking if I can show you a G&G combat machine. I don't know if I have a G&G combat machine around. I do not actually. G&G combat machines are actually really good guns, especially for the price. They start as low as like 140, and they're probably one of the most reliable guns at that price range. So I would highly recommend it if that's the price range you're working for. I've seen a lot of fields use the combat machines as rentals, and they work really well. One of the reasons why they are so reliable and why they work so well is because the material that they use is not an ABS plastic like some of the older airsoft guns out there. ABS plastic has a tendency to crack and fracture when there's a lot of stress on it or it drops. Polymer, on the other hand, it has more of a tendency to flex. So it'll kind of flex and almost stretch in a sense. That's kind of a bad way to explain it, but it's more durable, so that's why those things work really, really well. Okay, this is a fun question. Leon Riley is asking, hey Daniel, what is your favorite attachment to use in Airsoft? It used to be a red dot, but then I became too reliant on the red dot and I'd give myself tunnel vision. So I actually started playing Airsoft for about a year without red dots so I can focus on, you know, seeing everything around me. So I would say flashlights are probably my favorite accessory if it's a low lighting game, because you can trace your BBs through the air a lot better, seeing where they're going and being a lot more accurate. So that's something I definitely enjoy. And Bob is in the room. Let me ask a few more questions. I think we're still pretty early. Let's see. Okay, cool. This is a question for Bob, so maybe you can answer that a little bit later.
Well, you can ask me right now. I'll say it off camera.
Okay, this question is from Owen asking, Airsoft GI, could Bob please go in depth about his sniping experiences? I just purchased a TM VSR G-Spec that has been fully upgraded, and I'm going to be getting into sniping very soon. So I think he just wants to know your feedback and your experiences with sniping.
What was the name of the gun again?
Owen, I believe, just got a TM VSR G-Spec, the one with the mock suppressor, which is awesome. Really cool gun. So congrats on that. I'm very jealous.
Well, my experiences with sniping, it's weird. I actually, yeah, unacceptable. I had to wait a long time before I actually got to snipe, mainly because the sniper rifle I wanted kept getting its release date delayed. I actually got delayed for about 1.5 years, so man, was I waiting. My first gun for sniping was a Tanaka M700, which is a gas sniper rifle. So I had a lot of time to, I guess, you know, set up and research a lot of sniping, and a lot of that included, you know, getting books and how to build a ghillie suit, looking at documentaries, buying DVDs about how to make a ghillie suit and use it. So a lot of my sniping experience initially had to do with fieldcraft, you know, looking into camo, working on camo face paint, which can be difficult in a very warm environment where you sweat a lot. My experience getting into that was first starting out with a rifle wrap, which is, you know, you get netting as well as burlap fibers, and you wrap that around your rifle to conceal your rifle along with your person. So I initially started out with the Tokyo Marui M16A2, got a rifle wrap on that, got my ghillie suit all set up on my person. Then after I was able to do that, I moved more into the sniping aspect, was obviously wrapping the sniper rifle itself and setting up in a hide. And I call it a hide because, you know, I'm not a trained sniper. I don't have any military training to speak of. I just go off of what I've read, what I've watched, and what I've researched. So definitely a lot of sniping is, you know, getting a good spot or picking fields of fire and waiting for that one good shot and hopefully being able to follow up if you miss that first shot. Because, well, let me just go into saying, like, with sniping, if you are using a bolt action, it can be very difficult to hit people on the move. So it is much better to choose stationary targets, or at least you're going to have a better chance at that. Even with even sniping with, like, let's say a Polar Star, like we did at Operation Irene, it was difficult to hit people on the move. But stationary targets, like I said, are much easier. I definitely would suggest taking that out. Obviously playing in a recreational field and seeing how it goes. You're going to learn a lot by play testing it out there. You're obviously not going to succeed with everything right away, but you learn by doing, and that's a lot of how I learned how to snipe, is just to get out there, get out and play, and see what works and see what doesn't. One of the things that I learned didn't work out right away were bipods. I had a very heavy bipod on my gun, and running around with it and trying to aim on the move was very difficult because the front end of my gun was heavy, and I wasn't as in shape as I am now, which is not incredibly in shape. So I found I didn't use bipods normally as much as I always thought I would. I was more on the move than I expected to be. So I would highly suggest if you're choosing between a bipod or a sling, go with the sling. That's probably going to be more useful. And make sure you have a good sidearm, because if you do have a sniper rifle that is up to spec, i.e. shooting above 400 and at the top limit 550 feet per second, you're going to need a sidearm to shoot people in those close engagement circumstances where you get surprised, or whether you don't want to shoot someone with that heavy shooting of a gun that close. I hope that helps. One other thing I would like to mention is that, if your gun is up to the FPS you want, you've got a lot of internals good, I would highly suggest getting a Type 4 barrel, because that will increase your accuracy. More specifically, Miracle barrels are awesome because they cut down the left or right deviation you'd normally have, and left or right deviation, basically going to the left or the right of your target, can make you miss your target, and you don't want to miss your target on the first shot with a sniper rifle.
All right, I think we got time for one more question. I like this one a lot. Airsoft SECS is asking, what is the favorite airsoft gun you have ever used? Favorite airsoft gun you've ever used? Okay, so I'm going to stop thinking about like straight performance, but like just favorite. Like, what was the most fun? I think I'm going to have to say I borrowed Mark's LM4 for a game at SC Village, and that was just so much fun, just because it felt so realistic, and I fired a couple real ARs, and it was just like, mag change, my whole experience was, it was great.
It's weird. My initial thoughts on that were like, man, do I say the LM4 or do I say my KWA KMP9? But I'm probably gonna have to go with the LM4, because you're right. Like, even in when I went to Red Storm 2, I wasn't necessarily hitting people all the time, but those moments were like, pop, 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 they're coming at us. I was like, I don't care if I hit anyone. This feels so awesome. So yeah, no, that's probably the LM4.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed. When we did the Kill Confirmed video at SC Village, I saw some of the footage of you shooting guys with your PTS LM4. You were getting some far shots. Like, I didn't know it was going out there that consistently.
Yeah, with .30 BBs, and that's a stock LM4. With .30 BBs, it reach out and touches targets at pretty obscene ranges. And actually, when I first got to use an LM4, Kara, some KWA gentlemen that were at the Army birthday game, they're like, Bob, you got to try this. Here's some .30 BBs. This thing shoots far. And I was actually so shocked at the range that I put that video up on GI TV Uncut. It's got quite a few hits, and I even had to circle the folks with an annotation just to show that's the guy hit way out there.
Oh, I remember the video.
Yeah, and they were on top of hills. Like, I was shooting from a lower angle, and I was still hitting them, so it was shocking.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's about that time. We will officially start the live show in like 20 seconds. Oh, right now it's good enough. So we got some cool promotions going on for you guys. We have our Save 14 promotion going on right now. So that's you use the coupon code Save 14 to save 14%. The new promotion, or a little fun thing that we just started that I really like, I'm going to kind of skip down that one, is we have started an Easter egg hunt on our website. So what we are doing is, it started yesterday, but every day from now until Easter, we are going to be hiding a little blue Easter egg somewhere on the website. And if you can find that Easter egg and post a link of that product to the Facebook post that we do, we're going to do it at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you will have a chance to win free stuff. So we have some MPS chest rigs that are going to be prizes. Everybody that does win will be getting an Airsoft GI goodie bag that comes with some cool goodies. I believe a hat, some patches, a dead rag, and stuff like that.
I think actually someone who's here today, who I will not mention because it's a secret, classified intel, there might be some Manta stuff going on those goodie bags.
That's super cool. That's super cool. We'll talk about the Manta stuff in a little bit if you guys aren't familiar. But everyone's going to win a goodie bag, and then everyone on the marketing team is going to sign it as well, including myself and Bob. So I think that's pretty cool. And then for the weekend for Easter, the no, Saturday it's going to be an ATP full auto you can win if you're the first one to find the Easter egg, and then on Sunday, Easter itself, it's going to be a KWA CQR triple magazine package. So pretty cool. There's no purchase necessary. You just got to find the Easter egg, and we might give you guys hints. We might not give you guys hints. The first guy that won, Juan, was pretty smart about it. He
Wait, Juan won?
Yeah, Juan won.
Oh, excellent.
Juan won. Juan, I hope you're watching and seeing. So yeah, that's really cool. So we hope all you guys have a great holiday weekend. Bob is going out to Virginia pretty soon. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the GA sale? Are you excited for that?
I am very excited. Plus, I get to go back to Virginia, which is really awesome because, I mean, nothing against folks out here in Southern California, but I just have noticed that people on the East Coast, or at least the Virginia area, and the South are a little bit more politer all around. It's weird to hear a lot more sirs and ma'ams and thank yous and please. Anyway, so we are going to be having a sale on our East Coast location at 100A North Providence Road, North Chesterfield, Virginia, 23235. Love the zip code. Now, it's at GI Tactical. It's the 1-year anniversary of the opening of that location, so it's going to be great to go back there. We're going to have goodie bags like Daniel previously mentioned. We're also going to have booths from, I believe, Die Precision, Z-Shot, Vulcan, and Polar Star. We're also going to have a lot of raffle prizes, including some ridiculously cool ones. Like one of the raffle prizes is going to be a golden ticket to an AMS event, an American Milsim event. So you can use that golden ticket at any American Milsim event all across the country. But if you choose to use it at an American Milsim event that has a helicopter dam mission included, you're going to get that dam mission free with that golden ticket. So you can get in the event free and you get that dam mission free. Pretty damn awesome. So really cool. There are going to be a lot of different raffle prizes in addition to the American Milsim golden ticket. But we're also going to be having 21.5% off in-store on select items. So you're going to want to be there for that. And I believe the first 150 households will get a free goodie bag. And then everyone else who shows up in line, one per household, will get a raffle ticket. But for each $100 you spend in-store, you're going to get an additional raffle ticket. So you spend $100, you're going to have an additional raffle ticket. $200, 2 raffle tickets. $300, 3 raffle tickets. You get it. I get it. We're good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should mention about our sale. Oh, yeah. The guys on the East Coast are cool as all heck, including the fact that we also now have tech service out there with our Frank Chu or F Chu approved tech. That's GI Tactical Zach. Awesome. Let's see. What else do we have going on?
Did you mention the custom gun that Zach is building?
Oh, I did not. Well, first of all, we've got 2 custom guns that the techs out here on the West Coast have built to be sold out there. They look awesome. And also, GI Tactical Zach is building a custom gun. I can't remember. It's based on Elite Force 4 CRS.
CES. I think it's the shorter version.
I think CRS.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, CES is Consumer Electronics Show.
Oh, I'm a nerd.
How dare you?
I think they put up a video on Uncut of Zach building the gun. So if you want a sneak peek at that one, I believe that's one that's going to be raffled off. So you can win a very highly customized gun for free. Or if you get extra tickets with the $100 purchase, you have a good chance at winning. And then there's also 2 other custom guns that the techs built here in California that we're going to be selling as well. One is a really awesome AK. Spencer's AK is super cool.
Oh, yeah. That's dope.
I was talking to him yesterday, actually, or not yesterday, a few days ago, and he spent almost an entire day weathering this AK.
That's something that our good friends at Red Wolf Airsoft have been doing for a while, and I got to say, Spencer got that perfect. And he knows Russian loadouts really well. So he plays with the Russians along with other teams. But yeah, he definitely just did an impeccable job on that. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Absolutely amazing job on that. So that AK is cool. What's cool about it is it has the really awesome looking under-mounted or the under-barrel grenade launcher for an AK that's built into it, and so that's actually like rock solid. So Spencer did a good job attaching it, and it comes with 3 of those grenades, and that's the grenades that you drop from the front and then shoot it out and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That should be a lot of fun. The other custom gun was the gun built by Ben, and so Ben built this crazy little CQB, high speed, like really fast rate of fire. All the internals were completely decked out. So
he worked on that gearbox like a madman. Like there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Yeah. Really quick shout out to Buck Airsoft Unit. Shout out approved. And then going back down, I want to just mention I'm a car guy. New Englanders are not friendly. Can I get a shout out for us in Boston? I personally love Boston. Went there not by accident, but semi on purpose. Great city. Love the heck out of it. Certain areas of New England are less friendly than others, so I'll grant you that. All right, moving on.
Do we want to answer maybe a few questions?
Sure.
Let's see. Bob, this is from Harmed Sword is asking Bob, what pistol would you recommend?
That's probably Harmed Sword, but
Harmed Sword? Wow, that was oh, this is embarrassing. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
It's okay, I've done worse. What pistol would you recommend? I have a couple suggestions. Right off the back, the one I've been using a lot that I almost personally captured Daniel with
oh, yeah.
was the KWA HK45. I love that gun. It's got an absurd amount of ammo capacity, I believe 28 rounds. It's also very comfortable and feels like an extension of my arm. Other guns I would recommend are the KWA 1911 Mark series of pistols. There's 4 different, I believe, Mark series, some with rails, some without. I love those guns. They're really awesome. They feel like a little piece of America in your hand. There's also the Elite Force 1911 TAC. That's a great gun. It runs on CO2, which means it's going to have a much harder kick than you expect, work in colder environments in green gas wood, and it fires just under 400 feet per second, making it great for outdoor field use. So check out the Elite Force 1911 and the Elite Force 1911 TAC.
Still beat myself about that name. That's pretty embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. No, I have done much worse though. Don't worry.
Okay, let's see. This is from Jared. Bob, what is your favorite Tim versus Bob battle?
I'm glad you asked that. Probably my favorite would have to be, not besides the fact that my team won, but Tim versus Bob 4 and 4.5 were epic all around. And not only did I give my finest pre-battle speech at those, but also those days were just, you can't recreate stuff like that. I mean, getting shot by a sniper in the face in between 10 other people by some amazing Imperial sniper, and then being not airlifted but medicked out through the swamp was righteous. The cheer we had at the end of the day was pretty awesome. Just those games at Ballahack, as well as how they went and how that each of our Tim versus Bob games is affected by each and every player on the ground, those games took the cake for all of them. I was really impressed, and also my team won 2 days in a row, no big deal. Yeah, those were some pretty darn gall darn awesome games.
Very cool. So I'm going to answer one more question, and we'll get back to some of the cool stuff going on. This is from Cameron. He's asking, Daniel, do you think it's better to have the RIS for the Masada or the sections of rails? So for me, personally, I'm a big fan of having stuff as lightweight as possible. I was actually seriously considering getting the full all-metal rail kit for the Masada. That is a little expensive, but it really makes the Masada a lot cooler. I ended up not going with it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was going to weigh down the gun more, and I couldn't justify the extra weight for all the rails. There's never a point in my mind where I use 7 inches of rails on the right, left, and bottom of a gun. So for me, I stick with the handguard, and I'm able to put a small rail segment wherever I want, save the weight, and I felt that was more of an advantage. The other big reason why was the Masada handguard has good space for a battery. With the wrist unit, you have to use a very skinny 11.1 or 7.4, and so that was my big thing, that I wanted to use different batteries. So it's really personal choice. I think the Masada looks cooler with the rail kit, but I decided to go with function over looks. So that's my recommendations, but either way, it should work pretty well.
I got to get one message out, or I guess 2 really quick ones. I got some messages on Facebook asking for a couple requests for this live show. Forgive me, I didn't check that before I came in here. I just kind of ran in the room. So stuff that I was supposed to say for this live show, I apologize. I'm not going to get to it. But Bill from Purchasing, BAT. Oh, BAT. No one's going to get it except for him.
All right. Okay, cool.
Moving on.
Inside jokes are the best.
Yes, it was a request.
Okay, so the next thing, somebody was talking about the East Coast events, and I also mentioned this a little bit earlier, is we have a CQB tournament happening out in Virginia at TRU, or Tactical Response Unleashed. So this is going to be a 5-man tournament. You can sign up individually, and we will pair you up with a team, or you can sign up with the team entirely. So the way we're setting up this tournament is it's going to be designed more for fun, just because Airsoft is an honor game. There's not going to be a grand prize in it, just because we don't want people to get really competitive or anything like that. It's going to be more just for fun. We are going to be having a raffle, and it's going to community giveaways and stuff like that. It is going to be run by our GI staff, so we're actually bringing GI staff that are very experienced airsoft players to help run this event. So it's going to be really fun. The cool thing about it is a normal day of play at TRU is $25, and this ticket's $25. So essentially, you get a well-organized game with very cool objectives and a chance to win some free stuff. It should be a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested in that, I would recommend getting your ticket soon. That's happening May 4th.
Also of note is that Tactical Response Unleashed, when we moved GI Tactical out to Chesterfield, Virginia, that location of Tactical Response Unleashed was originally a law enforcement training and hand-to-hand combat training facility only, but they were thinking about getting into airsoft, and we worked with them to make their field much more viable for CQB. So they've made quite a few changes over the years, and I think they've really got a good, if not close quarters, CQB field. It's pretty amazing because shotguns, flashlights, and grenades specifically are very useful there.
Very cool. So next up on the East Coast as well, we have Operation Reclamation 3. So this is obviously the third game in this series, and just to give you guys a recap, in Operation Reclamation 2, the British forces, or the BRF forces led by Meerkat Ed, who is the general of those forces, has taken Richmond, Virginia. And so now this is the American counterattack to try to reclaim the area. And so they have called in some reinforcements, Bob and myself. So we will be at that event, and we will be helping to lead the American forces to retake Virginia. And it will be ours. Ed, you're going down.
Quite.
Yes. Bob, do you have anything to add? I'm super excited for that game.
I'm really excited too, and actually it's really fortuitous because we have a question about that game from Basil B, or Basil B, whichever way you say it. Scroll up a little bit.
Sure.
Hey Bob, I'm thinking about coming to Operation Reclamation 3, and it'll be my first time in a national game. What's your opinion on a shotgun loadout for that? I have my own personal opinion on it, but Daniel has actually played this field before, so I'd like to give the floor to him for this one.
It would depend on what kind of shotgun. Is it a gas shotgun or a spring shotgun? My main concern is that this is an outdoor field, so you're going to want a little bit more range. But the thing that I ran into with, I took a sniper rifle that was semi-automatic. So I did not have a lot of firepower, and I found that to be more difficult to work with because there was so much brush that I couldn't, hose down BBs with like an AEG that would just shoot, like 20 BBs a second or whatever to cut through the brush and try to hit the target. My concern if you take a shotgun is you might have a similar experience. As you can see a guy send BBs out his way, but it may get blocked by some of the foliage along the way. That being said, I think a shotgun can definitely be effective. It's always based on the player and the experience and stuff like that too, but if you have an AEG, I'd say take it out, but otherwise a shotgun could be pretty fun out there as well.
From my experience just looking at the videos of the gameplay of that field, it does look like the range is a little bit long for a shotgun, but I have taken my shotgun out, or at least some of my older shotguns, to outdoor gameplay just to challenge myself, because I would have to get up much closer than other players would just to get that airsoft kill. So if you want a challenge, definitely take your shotgun out. If you want to be competitive on the field, like Daniel said, you're probably going to want to bring an AEG, but why not bring both and try out both?
For sure. Whenever I go to an op, I'll usually take 2 to maybe sometimes 3 guns, just to have a backup for myself or a backup for a buddy, or loan it out for somebody that might need it or something like that too. So especially if you're going to like a big event that you're going to travel, you're going to do a hotel or something, honestly I'd just take as many guns as I could. Just like, why not just have them? So yeah, that's going to be really fun. I'm very excited for that as well. We should be going out there. That is May 18th, if I remember correctly. So
yes, it is.
The tickets are signed up quickly. We're going to start doing squads pretty soon. So if you haven't signed up already, do sign up. We also have custom patches that we're working on, so that should be pretty fun. We have a group page on Facebook that talks a lot about Op Rec 3 and that series as a whole. So if you're not in on that, definitely jump on that. That's going to be pretty sweet.
All right, so this is from Hunter Van Gemeren. Bob, is there a range to test guns in the store in Cali? Absolutely. And in fact, there's a range to test guns in the store on the East Coast in Chesterfield, Virginia, at GI Tactical. That's it.
Gotcha. So I'm going to ask a question for me. This is from Kenneth. Daniel, how did you get the job at GI originally?
Well, let me actually answer this, because we found Daniel on the Mexican border, and man, was that a day. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was trying to get over the fence, and, there's a river involved and stuff. I'm half Mexican, just so you guys know. Don't be offended if anybody's, like, actually offended.
No,
My back was a little wet and everything,
oh,
too.
jeez, Daniel, why'd you have to go? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, So I've been shopping at Airsoft GI for a very, very long time. So I've been playing Airsoft for the last 10 years, and naturally I shopped at GI and a lot of other places too. But I was always a fan of GI, and I was always a fan of Bob and Tim.
Oh,
Like,
stop it.
no, seriously, I would check GI TV every single day for a video from you or from Tim or from anybody else, and I just loved it. And so I lived in SoCal all my life, and so I would go to the Walnut store and I would shop. If any of you guys have seen the most recent sniper video that we put up on Monday, I went out to SE Village with Brian, which is one of my oldest Airsoft buddies, and he actually works here at GI now as well in the shipping department. And so he kept encouraging me to apply for a job at GI because we'd go there and buy BBs or whatever, and there was a sign posted, hey, apply. Hey, you know, we're looking for applicants. And Brian, for months, he was like, just apply, just apply, just apply, just apply. I'm just like, shut up, I don't want it, whatever. Eventually, I was like, okay, shut up, I'm going to do it. And so I did, and I got an interview with Frank. That was the scariest experience of my life, by the way. An interview with Frank. That
Understandable.
Was just like,
Understandable.
That was first time I met him in real life, and you know I've seen him on the videos, and he's a very intimidating man. I respect him to no ends, and he's a great guy too. But I was just sitting there, I was just like, oh my god, it's Frank. And so yeah, then eventually I got the job at the sales floor and worked there for the last 2.5 years. Now I'm in marketing, so it's been a pretty crazy ride. So you know I'll tell people that like. I know what you guys feel like as a fan, as a customer, as a player, because I am a fan, a customer, and a player, and the fact that like I work here and Bob, like I can poke Bob like he's right here.
It's really interesting because like I feel like this keeps happening. Like I met your friend Mark, who I would consider now my friend as well. But I remember I met him on the field, and you're like, hey, this is my friend Mark. He takes a lot of guns, and then he let me use his SCAR that was souped up with a Surefire Fat Mag, and that was the one day where I hadn't played with an AG in like a year and a half, and I literally just, I believe I can fly. I just went running around shooting. I was like, oh my god, that's so much fun. And then he started working with us, so it's really fun how that happens. You know, people who love the sport get into the game, and then we work with them a lot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one thing that I love about the culture here at GI, and I use that word specifically because I was a player and a fan, and you know I ended up getting hired. Bill, which is somebody else that Bob mentioned as well, he was a customer, and I would help him at the store, and he'd be in the store for like half an hour. Like he'd buy a bag of BBs, but we'd just sit and chat and talk Airsoft. Eventually, he got hired and stuff like that. So you know, this company has a very has a big habit of hiring players that like the company and like the sport, that are honorable and stuff like that. So that's kind of what Airsoft GI is.
Let me give a couple shout outs. Cameron and Aaron, shout out approved. Anarchy Airsoft, shout out approved. And Go Hard Ride Hard Airsoft, shout out approved. Let me just make sure I got that.
Like 3 for 3.
I know. Let me just make sure. Yep, that's right. Okay. Excellent. And someone likes cheese, apparently.
Yes, and I did lose that sniping competition. Brian did outsnipe me. He got more targets. Plus, I got hit in that game, and he didn't, so I was kind of bummed.
He had better cover, in my opinion.
I think so, but he also had a better scope. He had a really nice aim sport scope, which that's not going to do too much. I'm just a sore loser. I didn't want to lose and put it up on GI TV. That's embarrassing.
That happens.
I know. Okay, so the other cool stuff, if you guys are not aware, we have amazing techs here at Airsoft GI.
World class, I would say.
I would 100% agree with that. That just like we were talking about the sales reps, these techs are techs that, you know, tech on their own for years and years and years. But what's great about our techs is that they know how to work on literally any gun, because this is what they do for a living. They can fix any problem, upgrade any gun. You know, for the most part, there are some stuff that is very, very rare. But if you guys ever have a broken gun or a gun that you want to upgrade, or you want something to shoot super far or a really fast rate of fire, you know, our techs can do it. We have techs now on the East Coast and here on the West Coast, and we have a killer warranty service and stuff like that too. So if you guys have anything you want us to do to your guns, that's definitely there.
The techs are actually working on my LM4 as we speak. Well,
Nice.
not like currently, but I've got Aaron working on it, and I'm supering up with a sweet rail kit and going to put some PTS stuff on it.
Is he doing all the internal mods to the LM4?
No, he isn't really doing a lot of internal mods. He basically put some new oil on it, so it's gonna run smoothly. And I got a Ring Your Arms charging handle from PTS. I also got a Go Gun gas pedal from PTS, as well as a PTS battle comp. So I'm PTSing that thing out, and it was originally an LM4 PTS, which is kind of fun.
I would recommend talking to him about what he did to his LM4, because he did, I think, like 3 other modifications, and one of my gripes with gas guns is that they're not as consistent as AEGs because of the gas. He did these upgrades that it was the first gas gun I've ever fired that I could compare the consistency to an AEG. It was insane. There was a couple valves that he changed out, and the most important thing was he changed out a hop-up unit that we're actually getting in pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Yes, so I would recommend, and I shot that thing out. It flew so far. It was crazy. It was insane. So that's really cool. Oh, what else do we have going on? Oh, CQR packages. I'm holding one in my hand.
Excellent.
This is a KWA CQR. This is, in my personal opinion, the best gun internally that you can get for $200 or less. This is the Mod 2. The Mod 1 comes at a little bit longer barrel length. So we
Standard M4 length, essentially.
Yes, exactly. We have a couple packages for these right now where you can get the gun plus 2 extra mags, making a total of 3 magazines for $200. The gun retail for 1 magazine goes for $190, so for $10 more you get a total of 3 magazines. It's a really killer package. Plus we got some packages with more mags and more tactical gear. Definitely really, really cool.
I gotta say, I get surprised sometimes by some of the deals that are on GI, and one of the things that I thought were one of the best deals, that's train, were one of the best deals in a long time were our Griffin gear, basically the Griffin gear we started selling. So you can get a really good chest rig, which is one I stand behind completely because I took it to Operation Irene, performed wonderfully. The Griffin Golem chest rig is great. You can also get the Dragon Spine belt system, which is a belt, a tactical belt, with 2 double M4 magazine pouches that essentially each of them holds 3, so you can hold 6 mags. And you get a dump/recovery pouch. Now the Golem chest rig and the Dragon Spine belt system are each $15. So you can get the chest rig, the belt system, as well as the 3 mid-capacity magazines and 4 high-capacity magazines with the CQR for $215. So you pay $25 extra on top of the CQR. Again, 7 mags, tactical gear setup. It's pretty ridiculous. So if you're thinking about getting an airsoft, spend the extra $25. You're going to get all that stuff. The only things you're really going to need are eye protection, obviously, you know, a battery and BBs. So pretty dope.
Very cool. So the other cool thing with the CQRs and like any AEG that is compatible is you can also get a burst wizard for 50% off when you buy it with any AEG that is compatible. If you're not familiar with the burst wizard, it's a little MOSFET computer chip that plugs in between your battery and your gun, and essentially it makes your gun shoot burst. That retails for $40 on its own, but when you buy it with any gun that is compatible, you get it for $20. And that's a killer deal. I won't go into too many details about the burst wizard because we've done a lot of cool videos on it in the past, so go search for those, but that's totally worth it. Or if you have a gun that's already that you own, obviously, and you want to make it shoot burst or have a lot of other cool features, look into the burst wizards. That works really, really well. Spring giveaway. Did we talk about the winner that happened last week?
I
think that happened later last week. Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Quite.
Okay, so spring giveaway. If you guys aren't familiar with that, that is essentially our online raffle. Any order that you guys make until now into June 2nd on airsoftgi.com or gitactical.com, you'll get a little code. You type that code into a website, and you have a chance to win free stuff. It could be BBs, tac gear, or an awesome gun. Last week, we found out that the winner on there's a winner on GI Tactical that won the grand prize on gitactical.com, which was a $500 sniper rifle by Ares. It was the M110, which is a badass looking sniper rifle. Really, really cool, in tan. And so I actually saw the guy bought, I think, a bag of BBs and a Serpa holster, and he got a $500 sniper rifle. Yeah, just like best purchase ever, right?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I was pretty stoked about that. That was really cool, and I was happy to see that happen. So I hope, I forget the customer's name, but I hope whoever it is very, very happy. You should be very happy.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic.
So you definitely want to take advantage of that spring giveaway while it's going on. I think it's going on until June 2nd,
yes.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, definitely take care of that, or take advantage of that, because you don't want to miss out on something you could possibly get for free. Everything helps. I'd also like to mention the fact that here at Airsoft GI, whenever you make a purchase not using a guest account, whenever you use a regular account, you're going to get 2% rewards back on top of all the other savings you're going to get. And as far as I know, we're the only one in the airsoft industry that does that. So you can add that on top of any coupon code you're going to get. That's 2% rewards back. You can use for a later purchase. And there are a lot of folks that get their 2% rewards back and have no idea. They come in like, oh, I have rewards back? How much? What can I get? They're like, oh, you can get the scope and a bag of BBs. I mean, what else do you need? More magazines? You got enough points. So make sure to take advantage of the 2% rewards back. If you sign up and have an account, it'll accumulate on that account. If you want to make a really quick purchase and just choose a guest account, because it's not going to be a continually ongoing account, there's no way to keep track of those points. So make sure to sign up, get an account whenever you purchase, either in-store or at our online locations. You're going to be able to accumulate those rewards points, and it's pretty awesome because it's essentially more money you're going to save.
Awesome.
Yep.
So let's jump into maybe some more questions, and then we'll show you guys some new stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. I had a question I wanted to answer. It was about hop-ups. I can't find the name, but the question was, what's better, an R-hop or a flat hop? In my experience and opinion, I would say an R-hop is better, because an R-hop, if my hand is the BB and around, the R-hop has more surface contact on the BB. So it can apply more backspin more evenly to actually fly it out and give you more range, where a flat hop is literally flat, so you have less surface contact. An R-hop's really tricky to do, so have a tech do it or take a lot of time and effort to do it. Both upgrades, generally speaking, are better than a normal hop-up bucking, but I would recommend an R-hop. I think that would be a little bit better. Oh, that's from Forrest Gump. Good job, Forrest Gump.
Nice.
Hope you got some chocolate. Let's see, what's another question we can answer? From Hanging Fan. Daniel and Bob, can you explain more about Polar Stars? What do you need to run it? Can I take this one?
I'd like you to chime in, because I actually don't normally use Polar Stars because I like having guns with feedback. But essentially, you have to have, a gun body. You have to have a Polar Star fusion engine. And then you're going to have a line to a high-pressure air tank. And I believe you're also going to need some other subsidiary equipment, like some gauges. And I'm blanking, because I really honestly don't know a lot about all the disparate parts you need to function with a Polar Star, because I personally like guns, like I said, with feedback. So a Polar Star more or less feels like a hose. You basically got a solenoid turning that is just going to release high-pressured air, and basically you've got the gun is basically just a piece, not dead weight, but just something that forces BBs through it like a hose. So yeah, you are going to need quite a bit of setup. The entry-level cost of that is quite a bit, but you are not going to find a more reliable system on the market, because you're going to get the same amount of air pressure each time. You're also going to be able to tune the rate of fire and the FPS on that gun. So it's a very great setup, especially for DMRs. We were able to use that at Operation Irene, and Josh was able to get shots that were at unheard of ranges, from my opinion. So yeah, Daniel, do you have any more information to give? Because I'm definitely not the best source of info on Polar Stars.
I think you actually nailed most of it. I've never actually used a Polar Star in game, but I've worked with them many times in the store just with customers. So yeah, you got a
regulator.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm forgetting.
Because you got your high pressured air tank, and that's set naturally to a really high pressure. And so what you do is you have forget if the correct term is a regulator or stabilizer, but it's pretty much going to lower the PSI, or pounds per square inch, between the HPA tank through the line to your gun. Because if you put the pressure directly from the tank to your gun, it's going to go. And then yeah, it just spits out the air onto the BB, and so it's just nice because there's no gears or pistons or anything. Super, super reliable.
There we go. From Airsoft Rush. Tank, regulator / SLP, fusion engine, hop-up, and barrel. Bingo.
Yes, yeah. So, sounds good.
Mr. Grinch, Bob, I'm new to Airsoft, and I'm also Canadian. Well played there. I was wondering if you could make me a whole loadout for $1,000. Well, we here at Airsoft GI can certainly, suggest stuff to you, but, probably better if you decided what was best for you, or you could take a look at our Tactical Gearheads video. Just head over to our YouTube channel. There's actually an entire playlist that says Tactical Gearheads. You can go through that and check out if there's anything you like in just about each of those videos. You can go down to the description of the video, and we'll have listed out all the products used from AirsoftGI.com. So yeah, I would suggest checking that out, and yeah, we've got a lot of Tactical Gearheads videos available.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Can definitely give you guys some good ideas. For some in-depth questions like that too, me and Bob are also on our Facebook pages so that we can answer questions for you guys. So if you guys want to add me, I am Airsoft GI, that's the first name, and the last name is Dan. So add me there, and then Bob, I think it's just
I'm Airsoft GI Bob the Axeman, but I have maxed out on my friends' requests, so I also have a fan page. It's just Bob the Axeman. There's a lot of them around, but the one that's actually mine will have the GI picture of, it's, I guess, done by our graphics department. Looks pretty baller.
Gotcha. Very cool. All right, why don't we jump into some of these cool products? Why don't we talk about this? Because I've been dying to talk about this. I was having so much fun with this. So this weekend I went out to SC Village and I had a chance to use one particular piece of Spectre gear that I absolutely loved. And so, Bob, is this your plate carrier or is this?
This is actually the Spectre plate carrier version 2, but I'll pull that out. But this has the pouch that Daniel's talking about, the 45-degree angle pouch. So I'll let you get into that.
Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I need a cool mag. Let me see if I can grab that.
This is actually my Spectre gear plate carrier. There's a lot of stuff on here. This is a modular plate carrier. I've got a lot of stuff on here. This area is devoid of pouches so that I can quickly draw my sidearm if needed. But I carry a lot of utility pouches as well as magazine pouches because I wear a lot of stuff. And yeah, I carry this thing like a pack animal to just about every game I go now because this is the most solid vest I've ever used, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we got into the conversation about is Spectre gear. They make some really nice stuff that's really high quality. Is granted a little bit more expensive, but some of this stuff is a little more unique. And I know you've been using that plate carrier for a long time. I don't know if you mentioned, but Frank Chu, he also uses a Spectre plate carrier that I know he's been using for the last few years. But this is what I fell in love with immediately. When I first saw this, I was like, this is a 45-degree angled pouch. And this plate carrier is not mine. This is actually Jason, another guy in the marketing department. But he was kind enough and let me use it over the weekend. And at first I was like, why would you want to use so much MOLLE space? But the thing about it is the draw is so easy and so natural compared to if you were to have a traditional pouch going up. And usually I use mag poles when I have mag pouches or something like that, so I traditionally have a mag pole. But even like compare this, if I were to grab this, number one, I have to bring my hand up and over and then back out and then up into the gun, right? So that would be the traditional draw. With this one, I don't have to go all the way up and over to grab that magazine from deep in the pouch. It's a lot more natural that it's right there, pull halfway out, and it just goes in. So I was using that this weekend, and by all means, it wasn't like a game changer or anything like that, but it was just something that I really enjoyed, that really natural fluid transition like that. Like, it was just super quick. And the other thing I was doing too was, I actually didn't have a dump pouch at the time because I was too lazy to put it in. I was doing mag changes like this.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, Spectre gear, they make a lot of high-quality gear, but they also have stuff that you wouldn't normally expect that works. A lot of the really cool things about their gear and their vests is that it is made, and it is made well. This vest, as well as their other vests and their pouches, are have multiple bar tacks, which, if you guys don't know, are reinforcement sewing points in in the fabric. Essentially, this vest is bar tacked all the way down to here, so it is a solid vest. And these pouches are likewise reinforced. I don't know if you mentioned that, but that is actually a buttstock magazine holder made by Spectre as well. That can be attached to a wide variety of guns, and that's very useful in case you need an extra spot to hold a magazine, or if you need to put on an external battery.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something that I've seen a lot of airsoft players use if they want a stock that can't fit a battery. So I've probably seen this used more for batteries than actually magazines in my airsoft career. But this is just nice that you can actually have a pouch and then lock it down. We didn't actually secure it too much, but there's straps that I should probably have it in camera so everybody can see. And then you just lock it in there. So it's nice you can have an extra mag on your gun or a battery or an extra battery. Just kind of gives you options. So
someone's asking how tight the mag was in this pouch.
And this one, that was a concern I had too. They actually designed it really well. From what Jason was telling me, you can't see it, but inside there's some Velcro. So what you can actually do is add like little, I guess, panels or something to increase the retention. So with this, I was actually jumping up and down and doing full jumping jacks, and it was staying in there fine. But if you want to add more tension or retention for it so it doesn't fall out, you can do that. So I was playing SC all day, and I was like diving and jumping and rolling and stuff like that, and it never actually fell out. So I kind of use this as my emergency mag, and what I did was I'd have extra magazines in here, so I had a total of 4 in reserve. But there was a couple moments where like I was just right in the heat of the moment, the gun went dry and just super quick, and I was good to go.
You were actually also using that for a mini dump pouch, weren't you?
Yeah. So I was using that for actually like anything. When I played with the JG Bar 10, I actually just had the sniper magazines and a speed loader in there as well too. So that was nice, and I like the fact that like it was always open there.
Yeah.
So like once again that mag change just drops in, and it's pretty nice.
Easy as pie.
So Spectre gear, pretty cool. Any more thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, it is more pricey than most, well, than a lot of other tax on the website, but you're paying for the quality. I mean, that's really what you're going to get. This is also made in America. I'm really happy to say it's made in San Joaquin Valley, which is where I grew up, as well as the areas where my family farms. So I'm a really big fan of Spectre gear for that reason, but they also make some dope-ass gear.
I know some of you guys are asking, that was a real Cry JPC. Once again, it's not my personal one. I'm thinking about buying one, or maybe the Lancer one because that works really well. But that one's actually Jason's. Is that Josh? Hey, Josh!
Hey.
Okay. We also got, let's go with the sniper rifle or the bolt action.
All right.
That one's pretty cool.
Oh, my. Now, you may recognize this from the movie Saving Private Ryan, because it was used by the sniper in that movie. This is the G&G GM 1903A3, essentially the Springfield 1903 bolt-action rifle. This is pretty cool because you get 2 magazines with this. They hold 9 rounds apiece. But what's really interesting about that is the fact that you can use the magazine with either green gas or CO2 cartridges. It's a really unique design, and I think it's pretty cool, and it definitely works for folks that are in different parts of the United States that either need a gun to operate at colder temperatures than green gas would allow, or if you can't, I guess, affordably get green gas where you live, CO2 cartridges are available very widely all across the United States. So, you know, this is a very good gun to have if you are going for a World War II build, or if you want a bolt-action rifle that uses gas. This is really awesome. It is also very satisfying to, I guess, operate the bolt system on this. It's pretty awesome, and it's not nearly as heavy as you would expect, but the wood feels real. This is just a really well-made airsoft gun.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. It really goes for those classic nuts, or somebody that wants to build a specific loadout. What I really like on this gun is the iron sights. I feel like they would be very precise, and I can imagine how somebody would snipe with this. And you got a really small peephole, and the iron sight. I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of, like, it's just that front or the center post.
I got the bayonet mount right there. That's
yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, this is a really long gun, and the fact that you can use the green gas and the CO2 cartridges is really nice. So definitely for all those collectors out there, it's a nice new addition from G&G. G&G always makes some nice stuff too. So I feel like, you know, every now and then they'll make some unique stuff that's just kind of out there that I'm not really expecting, but it's like, oh man, that's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now this gun is it is slated to go for about $450 on AirsoftGI.com. Now keep in mind though, the build quality in this externally is gorgeous. I mean, if you want a World War II gun to put on your wall or mount on your wall as part of a collection, this is a very good idea because, you know, well, it just looks awesome, and it's going to look awesome wherever you decide to put it. All right.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, what else do we got?
Okay. We got this gun that I believe you set up earlier.
Oh, this was for the rail covers. That's why we brought this on. So we were going to talk a little bit more about the Manta rail covers. So these are really, really cool. They're actually I forget how to say it, but they're for the M27, the Marines.
Yes, this is
issued.
These are issued with the M27 IAR, which is used by the United States Marine Corps. Now these Manta rails are really great. It's essentially, you know, obviously a rail cover, but it helps you route. Well, not that one in particular. That's just a rail cover. This one right here actually helps you route your cords so they're not just flopping around your gun. But my favorite part of this is actually the one with the compartment for a pressure switch, which is this one. It's got a compartment right here. You can slip in a pressure switch, or 3, which I've done, and it allows you to you know, obviously have rail covers, but have a comfortable attachment point for that pressure switch, so you're not taping it onto your gun like I used to do. But yeah, it's a really great product, and I'm really glad that Z-Shot has picked them up and is helping them bring it to market, because right now the only folks that are really getting a lot of them are the United States Marine Corps, and I'm really glad that it can come out to market with the airsoft community.
So it's a very interesting material. It's almost like spongy and squishy. So when I was using it with the Apex M4, I actually got a really good grip on it. But with the pressure switch, I really liked it that it wasn't like a mount. It was actually just a sleeve. And I'm going to try to open this up for you guys. You guys can kind of see that. So you see how that material is stretchy like that? All you do is you stretch it out and you slide the pressure switch in. So that's what we did here. There's that same sleeve that we just stretched out to put the pressure switch. so you can turn on the light. Now that's really cool too because you know, I'm sure you guys have done it, the whole electrical tape or find some way to jerry rig or zip tie duct tape exactly. So this is just a standard vertical grip. You slide the grip cover over it and you got a really nice place for your pressure pad. So these are some pretty cool rail covers, and I know they have a couple other accessories. They have a I think it's a silencer or a suppressor cover, which is really cool too.
And that's to generally cut down on the heat, so you can take it off with your hand or your gloved hand, and it won't actually burn you. They also have covers for 50 caliber machine guns, so that when you're changing the barrel, you can grab it with your gloved hand or your regular hand and not burn your hand. So that's pretty nice. Although those probably won't be that usable for airsoft, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anything, it'd be just for looks. But I mean, so much of airsoft is just for looks anyway.
No kidding.
So I mean, I when I saw that the suppressor cover, I kind of wanted to get one just to be like, I'm cool. Like it's gonna do nothing.
Super cute.
My airsoft gun shoots so hot that the suppressor starts to melt, so I need the Manta cover to protect my hands.
One other thing to note, which we were just informed by Wallace from Z-Shot, is the fact that these actually have steel support bars inserted through them, so that, you know, when you bend them, they're always going to go back to the same place that they were before. So that's another piece of work that Manta Rails has done. Really just a great job of bringing a product to market. And also another point is that you can actually snip these just to cut down the rail segments or separate them out as you would want to with, you know, other rail covers. So that's really cool. I'm really excited about these. I'm really excited.
Mr. Grinch is saying, Bob, there's a spider on your hat. Don't do that to Bob. That's not cool.
I'm really gullible, guys. And I looked at the camera. I was like, oh man, that's my patch. Okay. Although that'd be really funny if there was a giant spider and I had no idea. So
spiders.
We
had this conversation.
Well, I hate spiders, and I think I'm the only one in this company that kills them on sight.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll answer a few questions. Somebody was asking, is there any other way to mount the TUC on anything but an M4? If you go to their website, they do have an attachment where it's just Velcro that goes around a stock. So I have it on my Masada. You can do it with an AK. You can do it with like MP5s. Anything with the full stock. A lot of stuff, even without a full stock, you can make it work. So most guns, it should be okay. Any questions you want to answer, Bob?
Is that Bob's LM4? No, that is not my LM4. My LM4 is currently in the hands of the Airsoft GI Tech Department. I don't normally have, or I don't have a key mod rail system. It is really cool. I just think it's a bit too slim for me. But having finally converted my LM4 to have a rail system on it, it was quite a day for me, because I've had the Magpul setup on it for quite a while, or Magpul PTS setup, and I don't know, it's just amazing. I forgot what it's like to have that much rail space. I cannot wait to take that thing out.
Oh, I found a fun question from Airsoft SECS. What is your biggest airsoft fail?
Okay. Yeah, I can remember one. I was at the original facility that oh shoot, I'm blanking on the Integrity Tactical Solutions used to run games out of a Blackwater training facility, and the Blackwater training facility trained Navy SEALs, so it was a Navy SEAL training facility. They essentially ran boarding operations because they built a full-scale frigate inside there for boarding operations. Now, I led a couple charges at this facility before with incredibly awesome results. After that one, I had to go outside to puke, which is not the biggest fail ever. This fail, I was running across the facility, and it's all concrete, and the boots at the time I had were a bit slippery on concrete, and they were not very good boots. And I was running with my axe in the air, and then I slipped and continued my forward momentum, and my legs were spread kind of wide, and some dude just zipped me right up the crotch and got hit in the Liberty Bell.
Oh.
So I actually stood up, and before I could register the pain, I was like, all right, good shot, guy, and turned around, I was like, oh my god, this is awful, and just limped my way over to the bathroom to inspect the damage. So that was one of my, that's not my most epic fail, but I did lead a charge. Actually, do you mind if I mention one more?
Yeah, go for it.
I led a charge at Tim versus Bob 4, and it seemed like, you know, folks are going to charge, so I wanted to be at the front of it. So I was leading it, waving my axe around, yelling, and I had a lot of gear on, I've been running all day, and I could feel the puke coming up. So I faltered a little bit, but I kept them going, and then I finally had to go down on one knee and just start puking. And one of the refs, Aaron Rose, came up, and he was going back and forth between reffing and playing, and he like looked down at me, he's like, ha stupid Bob puking on the field and started shooting, and then his mag for his Elite Force 1911 fell down and landed right in the middle of my giant pile of puke.
Oh, that's what he gets.
I just looked up and was like, and just puked on it. Yeah. So that was his fail. But yeah, so that's what about you, Daniel?
Okay, so my biggest fail, this is my biggest fail, not because it was the biggest moment, but because I still do it today. Like, consistently. It's really, really bad. All right, so we're on the field, and we get, the bands, and, check out my gear, and I'm good to go. I was like, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm running. I see an enemy. I don't put a mag in the gun.
I saw that coming.
I've done that so many times, and I still do it today.
That's embarrassing.
The buddies that I play Airsoft with regularly, like Brian, I tell him at the beginning of the day, I'm like, Brian, make sure I have my mag in my gun. Like, I just don't think about it, and I just don't pay attention. And it's the dumbest thing ever, and I've gotten out so many times before of it. So that's probably the most embarrassing thing, that I've been playing Airsoft forever, but I don't have a mag in the gun.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculously embarrassing.
Really, really bad. But that's okay. That's fine. Happy I can share that with you guys. Oh, we got a couple of cool new products before we run out of time. Why don't we jump into some of those? I'm going to actually hold on to this. This is, if I didn't answer, this is the PTS Mega Arms. I threw on the LE stock because this is probably one of my favorite stocks, period. I just love it. And then this is just the Mega Arms body and key mod. So nothing new, but we made it look cool. Awesome. Now this is something a little different. This is the, I'm going to forget the name.
ASG Scorpion?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So this is a new AEP that we just got in. Does come with a 7.2 proprietary battery, but this thing is super small, super CQB. Worth noting that it was on the new Captain America movie. The Winter Soldier used it on his back, which looked pretty cool. Does come with this folding stock as well. So I don't know the FPS off the top of my head.
Oh, it's high cap. That's awesome.
For sure. But great little CQB gun or backup. I think this would be ideal for a backup to a sniper because it's very small and lightweight, but you have a lot more firepower than a pistol. So that one, I think this one you squeeze here.
Okay, I'll do that later because this feels pretty comfortable. Yeah, no, this would be a very good backup to a sniper rifle. Definitely, an HK-45 or something with a fair amount of ammo so you can fire and get the heck out of Dodge wherever you are. Because you definitely don't want to have close-in engagements where you can't use your sniper rifle and have a limited amount of ammo. So this is a really nice way to do it. And this is also really lightweight. So that's pretty awesome for sure. Yeah.
Dual wield.
Dope.
That'd be great.
Wait, really quick. Someone's asking for... can you go up a little bit? Chris Lander, I'm planning on coming to the SoCal location from Massachusetts. Hope we can meet up in store and chat. Absolutely, Chris Lander. Hit us up on Facebook, and hopefully we will be able to do that. Massachusetts is an awesome state.
Yeah, Chris, if you let us know beforehand, we can try to make sure we can stop by the store. You were actually just by the store because we had some customers from Tennessee, right?
They drove all the way here from Tennessee. 3 days. That is awesome. Yeah, they're really nice. It was Ron Clements, I believe. But yeah, no, it was really cool to be able to see them. And you can actually also check them out on GI TV Uncut. We took a short little video with the younger Ron, and we put it on GI TV Uncut, which actually made it up to Thumpy's 3D House of Airsoft.
You mentioned that.
That was
really cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Thumpy. That's very cool.
God bless you, sir. God bless you.
This is from Milsimmer Vapor. Is asking Daniel, does the Apex kick like the Bolt? No, the Bolt does have more recoil than the Apex. The Apex does have a mechanical blowback, but the main purpose of that is to slide that big bolt back and forth, so it doesn't kick as hard. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I just have some things to say about the Bolt.
Go for it.
Okay. Now, there are some other companies that have been saying that the Bolt kicks just as much as a Gas M4. Now, I've got to tell you, from having, fired the Bolt, I got to tell you, I mean, not to be mean, but they are lying to you. That gun does not kick nearly as much as a Gas M4. And if they're not lying, they're stretching the truth immensely. So the Bolt has been fun to fire, but it does not really compare to a Gas M4. It does have recoil, but it's not really even that close. But yeah, the Apex gun's really great. I definitely was jealous. You got to go out and use it.
Yeah. So. The thing about the Bolt too is that the recoil I don't feel is true. I don't want to say true recoil, but it's off is the best way I can describe it.
Yes.
So okay, like a LM4, for example, when you pull the trigger, the front recoil is instant, okay, because it's gas and it goes back, and you feel the bolt goes back and forth. It functions just like the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
The RM4s use the KFS, or the kinetic feedback system, which is not instant, but I would say is on par with an AEG. You hear the gears whine, and then it shoots, and then you feel the feedback. With the bolt, it's delayed. The way that works is it has like literally a metal weight inside that slides back and forth. So when it shoots, it like the gun could be like going forward, but the bolt could be going back. So it's like this weird like
it just doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Like they're solid guns. They do perform well.
Yeah, I was excited when they came in, but it's just not right for me.
I was excited too, and then I fired it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that is what it is. Do we have any other products?
That's going to be it for today. Although I mean, I do have a lot of crap on my vest, but yeah, I think that's going to be it for at least new products. But I actually would like to make a mention of this guy. This, as I'm sure you guys are all want to know, is a KWA MP9. Now this is also an ASG B&T license, Brugger and Thommet license, mock barrel extension. We also have a really awesome green laser up front here, which I'm going to show you. Yeah. Okay. We also have a Vism micro green dot with red laser sight, but KWA is re-releasing the KMP9 and the KMP9R in the two different colors they discontinued, which would be tan or field drab earth, as well as Ranger Gray, which looks to me kind of green. I actually have the Ranger Gray version. It's awesome. I actually bought it right after testing it off the Airsoft GI set because I couldn't leave and go home without it. Great guns, an amazing rate of fire. The center of weight is right here in the pistol grip, so if you want a one-handed with the stock out, you can do that and still attain accurate groupings. I've been using this for a couple years now. I cannot say enough nice things about this gun, other than the fact that I still love the LM4 a little bit more because it's a full-size gun. But this is a really great gun. At $215, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. Really loud, great rate of fire. If you love Counter-Strike, you're going to love this gun.
Counter-Strike, nice. For sure.
So, yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I like this setup specifically. I just feel like this is really cool because, you know, KMP9 is very small and lightweight, but I feel like when you have this, it's obviously not a rifle, but I feel like it has more heft and more, I don't know, it feels more dangerous in my hand like this. Like, I know it's going to shoot exactly the same, but it just looks cooler, and the fact that this has that built-in laser with it, like, this is just a really comfortable setup, and I like the fact that the iron sight and the red dot sight is really, really low on it, and it's just like, it's super natural. So, yeah, I like it a lot. I was almost going to buy an MP7 or a KMP9. That's a common question that people always get. I ended up not pulling a trigger on it. Oh, I think there's gas in there. There we go.
We were using that one earlier today.
Yes.
Yeah, there is actually some specific differences between the MP7 and the MP9, as I'm sure you might imagine. One, the MP7 is actually used by Navy SEALs, which gives it some street cred, quite a bit actually. But this gun, the KMP9, actually holds 8 more rounds than an MP7 does, and the MP7 has much more weight forward of the pistol grip, so it's going to be a little bit more front heavy, and I believe it's more heavy in general, which is why I prefer the KMP9, especially for use with melee weapons.
For sure.
Yes.
You mentioned the M93Rs?
Oh shoot, I forgot to bring that in. Yes, do you want me to go get it right now?
Oh, no, it's okay. The KWA M93Rs, which is the fully automatic M9, the Raffica.
It's actually a semi and 3-shot burst.
It shoots full auto too.
Oh yeah, you can flip it up in the middle. I forgot about that.
Semi 3-round burst and full auto. We're getting those back in stock very soon if we haven't already. I haven't checked the website in the last hour. But those are very, very popular pistols. I imagine they're not going to last too long. So if you guys have been looking for a KMP9 or an M93R, we're getting that and a bunch of other KWA stuff back in stock. So it should be pretty sweet.
Wow, that's a lot of spam. Cool thing about the M93R is that it comes stock with a 32-round magazine, but we also have 48-round magazines available on AirsoftGI.com, which is the same capacity as this MP9. That's a lot of ammo in a very small platform. And what's also great, as opposed to the MP9, is that the M93R is $170, whereas this is $215, and the MP7 is more expensive than that. I think somewhere around $240, $250. Anyway, don't quote me on that. But yeah, so if you are looking at a more affordable option or a more compact option, the M93R is pretty darn awesome. It also feels very comfortable because they have that folding grip already included on the gun, as well as the large trigger guard, so you can put your thumb in there.
Gotcha. So, all right, so I think we got about 5 minutes left. We'll leave the rest for answers and questions and answers, not answers and questions. So I'm going to answer this question from Travis. He's asking if our techs can work on the Magpul PTS Masada. Yes, they can, but it is a little tricky depending on if you want to upgrade the piston. Without going into too much details, the walls of the gearbox around the piston are just, we're talking millimeters too tight, and so you can't always upgrade it to a super beefy piston. So a lot of the other upgrades you can do just fine. Most of the parts are version 2, with the exception of the cylinder head and the air nozzle. But what our techs can do is Dremel out or like sand out or cut out. I don't know exactly how they do it. The walls just a tad so you can fit a more reliable piston in there. So we can do it depending on the amount of extra work we have to do. It might be a little bit more pricey, but we can do it. I had had the techs work on my Masada, and that's why it works so awesome, because they just decked it out like crazy. All right, what questions do we have? Got nothing. Oh, here we go. Dan and Bob, what is the most expensive loadout you currently have?
With a gun.
Oh, with a gun.
Do you think he means loadout on a gun, or he means like tactical gear setup?
I think he's talking about the gun. We could do both. Most expensive gun. My most expensive gun. Well, I don't know. That's a hard question.
For me, it's actually kind of a toss-up, because like my LM4 is not cheap, and with the rail setup, it'd probably be around the neighborhood of $500. But I do remember my Tanaka M700 was $500 right out of the box, and that was a while ago. My God, like 7, 8 years ago. And then the scope on top of that, you know, was another $80. So I'll probably say my original Tanaka M700, essentially a Remington 700, was probably the most expensive gun I ever had. And now that's just a gun. Oh yeah, gun, bipod, sling, and scope. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be over $600. So gotcha. Definitely.
For me, it's definitely my Masada. So the Masada itself, I think, was $500, and then I got the folding stock, which was $90, and then I got the outer barrel, which was, I think, another $100 or $150, and then I got the real size handguard, which was $40, and then I put about $300 worth of internals into it.
Good Lord!
So yeah, that was pretty expensive.
About that.
Yeah. Oh, this is a fun one from Joshua. What is your favorite shotgun?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I love shotguns. I've had a shotgun in my hand since I was 10. So, my current favorite shotgun would have to be my Tokyo Marui M870 gas shotgun, but all time would have to be my Tokyo Marui M3 Benelli. That was a spring shotgun. I actually used to use that to snipe outdoors because it was surprisingly quiet outdoors, and it was ridiculously accurate. So yeah, that would be my two favorite shotguns. Currently, I also have a Bravo 3-burst shotgun as a loaner and a backup. They're really great guns because they're between $50 and $70. They perform really well. They're just really great guns in certain environments. But yeah, right now, my current favorite one would be the TM M870 gas shotgun, because you can switch back and forth between 3-round burst or 3-shot burst or 6-shot, which once you go 6, you never go back.
I felt that personally. It's
yes, you did.
It's not fun.
I've been shot by one too. So.
Okay, this is from Riper, BB Ripper. What is your favorite pair of goggles? I really like the Bowl T800 replicas. So Lancer Tactical makes a pair that's like $11.05. It works great. I've had no problems with them whatsoever. They almost hardly ever fog on me, and so they're very inexpensive, but they're reliable. And so whenever I need a new one, I just buy another pair instead of buying extra lenses. I actually bought another one last Friday just because my old ones are getting scratched up. I think I'm on my 3rd or 4th pair. So those are probably my favorite just because they're simple and they work.
Not understanding a lot of these comments. No is Airsoft, not Remington 700.
Cheese! You spelled cheese wrong.
A lot of folks ask me to say dolphin cheese. I don't get what that means.
Dolphin.
I got nothing.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I was going to answer a question. But
this is a good question from Swifter. How much is the discount at the GI Tactical sale? It is going to be 21.5% off. 21.5.
And I believe that is April. Oh yeah, it is April 19th. That's correct. I was thinking of the OpRec game. Whew. Best place you have ever played in?
Fort Ord.
I'm gonna have to go with Balahack Airsoft. That is a great field. Tim calls it Balahack, which is not correctly pronounced, but it's Balahack. Great field all around. They've got mount as well as forest, as well as swamped, as well as other crazy cool stuff. Also, I gotta say, GamePod Combat Zone, for my money, is probably the best airsoft field on the West Coast. We're right by SC Village, which is great outdoor, but we go there a lot. And GamePod is the largest indoor airsoft facility in North America, and it is dope. And they have artillery.
Very cool. Maybe one more question, and I think we are out of time.
I actually forgot to answer the goggles question.
Sure.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I honestly kind of go quite a bit more expensive on goggles because I hate it when they fog up. And I actually have had Boley goggles fog up on me before in a sniper setup, but that's a lot of heat generated. So I generally am, if I could afford to, which I used to have these, but I can't afford to get them anymore, is I like to get goggles that have not only a thermal lens, but also a fan. If I had to choose one or the other, I'll probably just go with a thermal lens. But goggles with a fan really help me out because I do sweat a lot, and also I wear a lot of gear, so I generate a lot of heat. So, but I generally almost always wear a face mask. Firefly, you guys like, or Breaking Bad? Hell yeah! Game over, man. 44.
Wait, Firefly? Firefly is amazing. Breaking Bad, I just finished that
Me too.
series.
Me too.
Oh my god, it was so good. The ending was epic. Oh, that's so good. Anyway, we're out of time. Thank you guys for joining us on our live show on April 15th. We will see you guys next time. We hope you guys have a good weekend. Have a good holiday weekend, and we'll catch you guys next Tuesday.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Wait, I got this time. Bye.